Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are grinding forward. Hope you're staying on your programs, mind, body, and soul, daily discipline, lifestyle management. If anybody out there happens to want coaching or mentoring, just go to my website. I always throw the link below. Let's just philosophize a little bit. I've been thinking about this over the last day since Pete Hegseth gave his speech. The Secretary of War, if you Google it, it'll still tell you the Secretary of Defense. I like the title Secretary of War. And he set out some rules for the military, only for the military, and it was really for the leadership of the military, but things are going to change, or at least some rules are going to be enforced that may not have been enforced in the past administration or whatever. One of which is the no beards. He said no beardos. He's getting rid of all the facial hair. And it got me thinking about how the military has influenced civilian society, particularly men, when it comes to image and fashion. And I have a men's style channel. We do shoe reviews. I may get into some cologne reviews and some other stuff as well. But so far it's just shoe reviews. It's called Saving Souls on Monday. You can go and subscribe. So it's a topic I'm thinking about just in general because of the new channel. And I've been on my own little style journey of trying to level up. I've gone from basically just wearing wife beaters and Doc Martens every day. That was my look, skinhead look, every day, to trying to dress nice for the first time in my life. And it's been fun. And I've noticed that there's a lot of influence that the military has on clothing. And this has been the case, I guess, since the 1800s, both in England and in Europe and here. In fact, the businessman, the gentleman, even your casual outfit could be a military outfit. You know, you've heard of blazers, right? The blue blazer. I got a blue blazer. I got a burgundy blazer. I got different color blazers. I got a black blazer. The blazer is basically a sport coat with the fancy buttons, right? Gold buttons or silver buttons or just different color buttons. That's a military jacket. Where did that come from? The military, specifically the Navy. There's a whole story behind the blazer. That's not just something that came out of civilian fashion. Just some little fruitcake fashion designer was just like, whoa, there you go. No, it's a military item. You're wearing your sport coat and your blazer. You're literally wearing a military jacket. I mean, you know, you bought it from Macy's or whatever, but that's the influence. The trench coat, same thing, trench coats. We used to wear trench coats back in the day, back in the 80s. Long trench coat. You never know what we got up underneath them trench coats. Me and my whole crew used to wear them. 4 or 5 guys come busting in with trench coats. That's a look you don't know what's going to happen, do you? Pea coats. Pea coats are awesome. I used to have a pea coat. Used to be able to go to the surplus store. Man, there were surplus stores everywhere. We still got one in this town. It's small. It's decent though, but it's real small. And it's the surplus store, man. You can get all kinds of good stuff. Well made. Pea coats were awesome. If you can get an original pea coat, a real pea coat, you hold on to that. That's a nice jacket. Your khakis, khaki pants, your chinos, those chinos you're wearing, that's military pants. Where do you think that stuff came from? All this stuff, where do you think it all came from? From the military. Wear this stuff every day. You don't even realize it. How about your bomber jacket? I got one. How about your flight jacket? Those military jackets. How about a t-shirt? You're wearing a t-shirt and some khaki pants. You're literally wearing a military outfit from head to toe. You don't even realize it. T-shirts are military garments. That's where they came from. Who invented T-shirts? The military invented them. Wristwatches. There's an interesting story behind wristwatches. Men didn't originally wear wristwatches. It's hard to say. A wristwatch originally started off as a chick's item. Men wore those pocket watches, and the military adopted it because it was just tactically and whatever for the uniform, just made sense. And it does make sense. I wouldn't wear no pocket watch. That seems silly. So you got a wristwatch on? You're wearing a military item. I'm sure we can think of others. I don't know if you guys can think of any other items off the top of your head that are part of our normal society that were military. But we have, haircuts, the way people shave up. I think if you were to really go through it with a fine-tooth comb, you could probably point to 2/3 of everything that men do, just in general. Everything you're about is somehow military influenced. It didn't just happen randomly. It's not just a part of culture. If it wasn't for the military, we wouldn't have these rituals. A lot of men wouldn't be the way they are. Manhood, as we define it, wouldn't be what it is. So why am I talking about this stuff, rambling on about this? I was watching this speech by Pete Hegseth where he was going through some rules. And they're going to start enforcing some rules. And sure, maybe that'll only affect the military. And I was talking with somebody about this just yesterday. Because I mentioned how, well, this is interesting and we'll see what this does with society. And he looked at me like, well, it has nothing to do with us. Just because the military guys are going to shave up doesn't mean that anybody else will. Well, we'll see. I think that the soldier in Western culture, the officer, the gentleman, that image leads the way as far as traditional masculinity and manhood and what's proper. So we'll see what happens. Tell me what you guys think.